Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Demoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex, home of your University of Tampa Spartans. Tonight, the Spartans welcome Colorado Mesa University. At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Tampa is dedicating tonight's game to the life and legacy of Morgan Rogers, a former Duke University women's lacrosse athlete who tragically died by suicide in July of 2019 after battling mental health struggles. Although Morgan is no longer with us, her legacy and impact has created a growing community among student athletes, increasing mental health awareness. Morgan's message was created by her family and former teammates with the mission to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health, doing so by normalizing conversations, fighting to equalize the treatment of physical and mental health in athletics, empowering those who suffer in silence, and supporting those who feel alone. At the University of Tampa, we want to come together and make sure all of our athletes know how important they are and that we're here for them as fellow student athletes. To find out more information, please visit our Instagram page at Tampa Morgan's Message or visit morgansmessage.org.
Good evening and welcome to the Nemoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on the grounds of the University of Tampa campus, where this evening the Tampa Spartans are playing host to the Colorado Mesa University Mavericks. I'm Bruce Wozniak, joined by Taylor Stolworthy, as we are just about set to get started with this cool Monday evening game between the Spartans and the Mavericks, a team that they seem to face almost every year.
Yeah, you could say that it's a weird rivalry from the Pacific, well, the Rocky Mountains more specifically, all the way to sunny Tampa Bay. And while you mentioned it is a little cooler in terms of Tampa temperature tonight, Colorado Mesa will certainly not mind these temperatures at all. It's certainly a lot colder back home at Colorado. It's a reason they have a long road stretch to start the season. But indeed, 63 degrees, cold for Tampa, and warm for the Mavericks.
And I show 61, so we'll agree at 62 as the Spartans wearing all white in this first quarter, going from right to left with the first offensive possession of the game. And working outside is Owen Miller. Miller looking for some room, sends a pass in the middle. McEnany takes a shot, and that one goes out of play. Starting goaltender for Colorado Mesa tonight is Calvin Doucette. At the other end of the field, Blake Ulmer between the pipes for the Spartans. There's a shot by Charlie Bolish that goes out of play. A 7-1 one-loss record for the visitors entering tonight's game, and the Spartans, very similar mark. They are 6-1. Shot clock down to 25 now as Miller crosses the line, looking to shoot, puts on the brakes, and can't get around the defender. Now does. Takes shot, scores! A nice play by Owen Miller, and UT goes up 1-0, 1:04 into the first quarter.
He was looking for a second, and he has to eventually get his defender to bait contact to make a nice little spin move past him. Kind of a mix of a swim and a spin all together, and gets the open shot. And while Tampa had missed a couple shots in the opening possession, this time Miller would not be denied, and Tampa with the early lead.
An unassisted goal. Hunter Turner on the faceoff. Seemed like he was going to chase it down himself, and coming out of the pack with it is Trajan Cannon.
Good play by Cannon to get through two defenders.
Matthew Beto sends it down in behind the Mavericks net. And almost on the end line, Harry Kilkowski, as it's sent back up top to Gavin Bomstad. Bomstad turns the corner, flips a pass down behind the net. Kilkowski with it again. Kilkowski being chased, fires a pass. And there's a pass behind the net. Looking for a lane is Gavin Bomstad. It goes down and picked right back up by Nick Papa. And here's Bomstad again. Sent in behind the Mavericks net, 12 on the shot clock. And the Spartans are going to need to get the ball out in front. They do, as the save is made by Doucette. Spartans get the rebound. The shot clock did not reset, and so they'll turn it over. But good pressure early, some good looks for the Spartans there.
It would have been great if Tampa could have gone up 2-0 there, but Doucette denied with a great save at point blank. Certainly wasn't easy to do, and I think Colorado Mesa will have to deal with an aggressive Spartan side. We know just how strong their offense can be, and also it'll be tough for Colorado Mesa to get by their defense. However, they will get it up past into Tampa's defensive third.
Drew Eichelman over to Switzer. Switzer, a little spin move, takes a shot, and Ulmer might have gotten a piece of that one. It goes out of play just below the scoreboard. And on the restart, it's Hunter Holcomb. And now up top it goes for J.J. Brummett. And one-on-one, good speed shown there by Sal Laria. And down to the ground goes Eichelman. And I think there was a temporary pause, kind of a hush, as everyone was waiting for a call that would not happen. And so instead, back the other way goes UT, led by Jackson Day, sends a pass ahead. McEnany sends it into the corner. And Kilkowski, being chased, puts on the brakes. Kilkowski restarts. And nothing out front, so he'll send it up top to Miller. Owen Miller skips across the Mavericks line, shoots, and Doucette saw that one all the way and makes the save. And the quick outlet. And here go the Mavericks in transition. Holding it on the far side is Switzer. And now sends a pass down. It's quickly back up top. Looked like Stenke was going to shoot. Sent it down low instead as Holcomb dances in behind the net, gives it back to Stenke. And now takes a shot, and a good save there by Blake Ulmer. He outlets quickly up ahead to Braden Williams. Williams sends it ahead to Pascarella and is able to get there before the Mavericks try to take it away. Down into the corner it goes. Kilkowski toes the end line. Over to McEnany. And up top, Owen Miller. Charlie Bolish back to Miller. And to McEnany again. They'll fire it behind the net to Kilkowski. Kilkowski, good pass and knocked it out of the stick. And the Mavericks will go back the other way.
You can hear the Colorado Mesa has some good fan support. A wave of cheers from the left side of the field when the interception was made. And maybe more here as Colorado gets on the break.
And a backhand shot and a goal. Wow. J.J. Brummett, what a play.
That's an angle where you do not expect a shot, and even less so a goal. But credit to Colorado Mesa as they have tied the game. And Bruce, can you give me a read on the number 1 player who scored that?
That's J.J. Brummett.
Yeah, great goal there by J.J. Brummett. And with that, we're tied at 1-1. Kind of funny that the number 1 for Colorado Mesa has equalized with the first goal. But now Colorado Mesa takes the draw, and they're going to go back up.
Eichelman on the run. Has the speed, takes a bounce shot, and Ulmer stops that one in a quick outlet pass. And a whistle. It's going to stay Colorado Mesa ball. Salaria. And just stepping onto the field, receiving it is Braden Lowe. Lowe turns the corner. And Switzer sends a long pass that Philip Peterson's going to have to chase down. And now a loose ball as 3 of them battle for it, and the Mavericks able to retain possession.
I think they got lucky there because that was a very wasteful pass, and Tampa almost was able to get it in a dangerous spot.
And I should be specifying first names when I'm saying Eichelman because there's both Jake and Drew on the Mavericks. And a shot right there by Holcomb as the Spartans are able to get the rebound. Brady Stoll sends a pass over. Hold on. The Mavericks get there right out in front. Oh, now they score. Well, sloppy play there. And the Mavericks end up getting the goal. And same thing, I should be saying which first name it is because there's 2 Brummets as well. That was Jed Brummett after JJ had gotten the first goal.
Well, it's always a sibling rivalry when it comes to sports, and the Brummets are equal off the error from the Spartans. They had it in a tough spot. I think Ulmer wasn't expecting the pass to be missed, and when it was received by Colorado Mesa, all they needed was a point-blank look to take the lead. And again, with how good these teams are, 1 goal can really have an impact on the game, so that'll hurt, as this shot is going to be sent wide.
You saw Hunter Turner win the faceoff and then take it down himself. We do have a flag that's been thrown. And this coming 7 minutes, 12 seconds into the first quarter. And waiting to see who the penalty is against.
It looks like it's going to be against Colorado Mesa, and it's going to be Hayden Schur who's going to see 2 minutes. And Tampa has a power play. Or actually 1 minute, they'll update the scoreboard, I believe. But the good news is it'll give 60 seconds for the Spartans to try to retake the lead.
A unnecessary roughness penalty as the Spartans put it into play. Owen Miller. Fitzpatrick with a pass down to Kilkowski. Now they try the other side of the field. Quickly they work the perimeter. Kilkowski down low again. And Miller up top once again. Good ball movement here by the Spartans, but no opportunity for a shot yet in front. They score! Well, how about that? So much passing, and finally the first shot attempt does get in behind Calvin Doucette. And UT ties it back up at 2.
A great job by the Spartans to capitalize with the man advantage. They'll broad level, and that's a good shot, falling right in front of the net. Good job to avoid a potential crease violation, too. And there's not much Doucette can do at close range. Both goalies have made some good saves to start, but Doucette won't get an extra save here, and we're back tied with 7:16-15 to go.
Jackson Bashaw gets the goal as a bunch of them battle for the loose ball on the far side. And still not retained by either team. And it will go to UT. Matthew Beto across the Mavericks line, takes a bounce shot, hit the crossbar. And Miller settling things down as Matthew Beto can't believe what just happened or didn't happen. As it's sent over now for Miller. Owen Miller, as the defender goes with him, so he sends a pass to the other side. Fitzpatrick now. Bolesh to Kilkowski. And Trevor Nelson playing strong defense here, not letting anybody take that lane. The Spartans have tried to exploit a few times. Good save there by Doucette. Spartans get the rebound. And Fitzpatrick stops, restarts, comes around, scores! Daniel Fitzpatrick put that one on the highlight reel. A great individual effort. And UT goes back into the lead, 3-2.
There are a few highlight reel plays worthy of a highlight reel in that goal. Of course, the goal was eventually scored there by Fitzpatrick. And I'll have to say that's really unlucky for Doucette because after Owen Miller made a great move getting right at point blank, he made a great save, but Tampa and Fitzpatrick got the rebound, and without a lot of help for Doucette, the Mavericks defense ultimately will concede the goal, and now Tampa is back in the lead. They scored, then conceded twice, and now they've scored twice to get back up top.
Hunter Turner, you saw win the faceoff, and ultimately, well, I was about to say it's going to be a Mavericks possession. Is it? Pressure being put on Jake Eichelman. And now the Mavericks, they rely on Doucette. Send it up ahead to Paleo. And there's a shot that Ulmer gets a piece of, and it goes way out of play. And there has been a lot of action in a very fast-moving first almost 10 minutes of this game. As this is Holcomb with it down behind the Spartans' net. Up top it goes, Stinky. And now backing way up. I believe that's Alex Blatt. Indeed it is. Blatt tries the lane and takes a shot that's going to go out of play. Possession stays with the Mavericks.
I'll say Brewster really has had a lot of action in the first quarter, and I wouldn't expect anything less from the number 5 and 13 ranked teams in the nation. A big top 25 showdown between rivals.
And there's a shot that Ulmer gets a piece of. Possession over to UT. Brady Stoll puts it into play. 4:48 to go here in the opening quarter. And looking for some room as Gavin Bomstad heads over towards the far sideline. 2 Mavericks on him. Do they cause a turnover? No. Spartans get to it anyways. And it's sent down in behind the Mavericks net. Canyon Birch sends a pass over. Papa with it. And it's moved over to McEnany. Kilkowski behind the net. And now Birch sends it back up top. Over to this side of the field, Grant Green on the run. And the defender gives chase, and Green runs out of room. Sends a pass over, now fired quickly. And McEnany drops it. 2 of them will chase it down. And 3 for each team, and the Mavericks come out of the pack with it. Give and go attempt there, Hayden Scherer. And it's scooped up on the near side by Holcomb.
Bit unlucky the Mavericks missed that second pass because they were on a pretty dangerous fast break. I'm not sure. They may have had a number advantage against the Spartans. But the good news is, with that advantage, they're able to slow it back down with 3:15 to go.
Down in behind the Spartans' net goes Laria. Pops back out, takes a shot. Ulmer with the save. And his quick outlet pass connects with Braden Williams. And look out. Turned right back over. Away goes Jed Brummett. And a big contingent of Mavericks fans on hand here. Obviously, the draw to come to West Central Florida in March could possibly be spring break for them, question mark. As play continues with 2.5 to go in the first quarter. J.J. Brummett, and it's out of play. And they'll restart from the corner. Paleo one-on-one against Matthew Beto. Over to the far side, J.J. Brummett. And he gets it right back. Spin move, takes a shot. Ulmer, good save. Looking for an open teammate. And circles back behind his own net. Brady Stoll will start it up. Ulmer fires it up ahead. And away goes Pascarella. Miller flips it to the corner. And Kilkowski sends it to the other side. And there's a long pass back up top as Fitzpatrick fires it to Miller, who gives a little signal. And Bolish, who just stepped down, receives the pass, now gives it back to Miller. Miller wanting to go one-on-one, beats the defender and can't get the shot away. And now Fitzpatrick missed the pass. He's able to chase it down on the far side. And 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Spartans. Bolish looking for some room. Miller fires a long shot and deflected off of somebody. And the Mavericks come out with it. Jake Eichelman. And now crossing midfield.
The shot clock is longer than the game clock for only 40 seconds left. That'll be the only time you need to watch. Could be one of the last possessions of the first quarter. But actually, it looks like we're going to get a timeout quickly here. The Mavericks want to talk it over before we end the first.
So while they do that, we will step aside as well and be back with more lacrosse on TampaSpartans.tv.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Back live at the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex, where there are 34 seconds left in a first quarter that currently sees Tampa leading 3-2. And let's see what the Mavericks drew up during the timeout called by their head coach, Troy Moyer. A.J. Switzer takes it into the corner. They're initially looking like maybe they're going to try to wind this down for a final seconds shot. 14 left, and now a shot taken. And the rebound chased down, and the Spartans get to it. 7 seconds left. And let's see if they can get a shot away. 3 seconds, not looking like it. And there goes the horn to end the first quarter. Entertaining first 15 minutes with the home team in the lead 3-2. We will be back with the second quarter here on TampaSpartans.tv. Back live and starting the second quarter. And the teams, of course, have changed ends. As you see the Mavericks with the opening possession of this quarter. And sent over here on the near side to Fisher. And chased and causing the turnover. A nice job there by Matthew Beto. So the Spartans will have their first chance of the second quarter here offensively. As there you see a pass connects with Trajan Cannon. Canyon Birch now. Owen Miller starts his move, backs up, leaves a pass back for Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick to Miller. Charlie Bolish gives it up for Kilkowski and looking for a pick. No shooting lane there. Now Bolish fakes the shot, takes it, and it didn't get through. The Mavericks come out of the pack with it. Crossing midfield is Trey Corkin. And now lobs it ahead for Nelson. Over on this side to Switzer. And away goes Drew Eichelman. Now he retreats as some personnel changes made by the Mavericks. J.J. Brummett gives up a pass. And running out of room was Braden Lowe. Bounce shot taken by Holcomb. I'm tempted to call Braden Lowe Brandon Lau, who we have here for the Tampa Bay Rays. As the Spartans go back the other way, a pass, well, it looked like it might have been intended for Gunnar Gebelin. And either way, they score. A nice goal there by Canyon Birch. Let's see if they're counting it. They are. I heard a whistle. I saw a flag. I think even Birch himself looked at the official to make sure it wasn't going to be a crease violation, perhaps. And look at this dive right here. And there you saw the flag being thrown as the goal was being scored. Either way, the Spartans go into a 4-2 lead, 2 minutes and 3 seconds into this second quarter. Canyon Birch unassisted. And now we'll get the ensuing face-off at midfield. And quite a battle there between Hunter Turner and Dylan Checketts. And a loose ball picked up. No, still loose. And neither team able to contain it yet as it rolls. Oh, and a check put on there by Matthew Beto.
Sorry.
And a flag on the field as the clock stops 2:27 into the second quarter, and the official over on the far side of the field relaying the call to the scorers table. Matthew Beto gets a 30-second pushing call. And so Taylor, a chance here for Colorado Mesa to try to cut it back to a 1-goal deficit.
Don't have a lot of time, but just enough to try to open up an opportunity. At this stage of the game, being down by 2, even just getting that 1 goal if you can will be huge going forward. So let's see what they can do.
Impressive shooting percentage for the Spartans so far. They've scored on 4 of 6 shots on goal. There's a pass in front, and Ulmer may have gotten a piece of that one. The Spartans, the rebound sent way ahead to midfield, and now Jackson Day on the run. Day takes it into the corner. Little spin move, and fires a pass over to the other side of the field. Charlie Bolish over there, one-on-one with Caden Wynn. And the Spartans will reset up top with Nick Papa. Bolish, and it's relayed down into the corner to Kilkowski. Shot clock at 25 for the Spartans. Nick Papa with it. Skips across the line. And good defense being played there by Caleb Schreiber. 12 on the shot clock. That one goes wide and out of play. And UT has had more shots off goal than on goal, as the shot clock now is down to 5 seconds. Pass in front, they score! Luke McEnany. And it's a 3-goal Spartan lead. He scores 4 minutes, 4 seconds into this second quarter.
I have to say, Bruce, you mentioned Tampa missing more shots than they were putting on target, but the important thing is that they're shooting. I have a fun little Halloween analogy that if you knock on the door enough times, you're going to get some candy. And hey, the Spartans just got a couple pieces of candy there, and they're now leading by 3 thanks to Luke McEnany, and also Kilkowski got the assist. Colorado Mesa wins the draw, and they're going to now bring it up from the back.
This is Drew Eichelman. Heads towards the far sideline, stops, and a long pass up ahead connects with Corkin. And oh, a nice play from behind defensively by Cannon for the Spartans. And can he fight through the traffic with it, however? Somehow the Mavericks come out of the pack with possession.
Throughout the entire season, I've stressed how strong and how much effort the Spartans team gives up, but I should also really mention how strong the Mavericks have been, how much they've been willing to get in, get physical, and try to stay within plays as long as they physically can.
Oh, and a nice play defensively there. Gunnar Geblin. That pass otherwise, if it had connected, could have been a wide open side of the net to shoot at. And this is Holcomb looking to go one-on-one against Cannon. Can't get the shot away, and there's that strong defensive play that Taylor just mentioned as the Spartans cause a turnover. And it's Brady Stoll. Gives it to his goaltender. Ulmer sends a long pass up ahead. And off goes Geblin. Drops a pass back. Beto signaling to his teammate as Birch. Birch deep in behind the Mavericks net. Kilkowski with it now. Kilkowski started to get away from the defender, but credit to Hathaway, who came back, and they score. Well, that's just persistence paying off right there as the Spartans go into a 4-goal lead.
Great distribution. They found him behind the net, and he was able to give enough room just to get the shot off. Let's take a look at the replay. As he comes back around, he fires it, and here's the thing. If he had waited maybe a third of a second to fire it, that shot wouldn't have gone off because a defender was right there and actually knocked him over as the ball went into the back of the net.
So Kilkowski gets the goal, and the Mavericks want to talk it over. Head coach Troy Moyer calling a timeout. We'll step aside and be back with more lacrosse on TampaSpartans.tv.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
And we are back following the Mavericks timeout, which followed the 6th Spartans goal. And shots on goal to this point are 11-8 in favor of Colorado Mesa. But the Spartans, making them count, they've scored 6 times on 8 shots. The Mavericks goaltender Calvin Doucette credited with just 2 saves thus far. And Blake Ulmer credited with 9 saves already.
Honestly, I don't think it's a surprise to see Ulmer doing so well. He's been the backbone of the Spartans defense and always a strong presence in net, and he's made some really good saves to start the game, including a couple at very close range.
The faceoffs are almost even. Actually, they are even, as it was just updated while I was looking at it. 5 apiece. Mavericks with it in behind the Spartans net. And good defense here by the Spartans as it's taken away, and off to the races goes Gunnar Geblin. And an attempt made to jar the ball from Geblin's stick, unsuccessful. And good hustle there, unsuccessfully, by A.J. Pascarella.
I gotta say, on one of the defensive attempts, I can't tell which it was. I think it might have been the number 36 for Colorado Mesa. Got really lucky because I think he almost hit him in the helmet with his stick. And sometimes the referees are not very lenient in letting those calls go. You might see that be put down as a penalty. But, however, when it comes to how lenient referees are, we talked about this last time with women's lacrosse. As long as they're consistent for both teams, they can be as lenient or as strict as they please.
Yeah, that was actually a pair of 36s, as you mentioned. Sergio Paleo for Colorado Mesa was trying to jar the ball from the stick of Gunnar Geblin. As now the Spartans look to gain the Mavericks line. Pascarella gives it for Owen Miller, who has some room, and I thought he was going to exploit that lane. Instead, sends it back up top as Fitzpatrick gives it back to him. Miller looking to go one-on-one, puts his shoulder down, backs into the corner, and an errant pass, Fitzpatrick chasing after it. He does get there. And his pass for Owen Miller. Down behind the net, Birch. And McEnany quickly works it to the other side of the field. And Bolish puts his head down. Tries to get away from the defender. Takes a long shot, scores! How about that one, Charlie Bolish? And the Spartans, their foot on the gas now, 7-2.
To beat Dissett, he needed to snipe that top corner, and he did just that. Got himself enough space and fired a perfect shot. He got a feel for Dissett. He was trying his best, but there was no stopping Bolesh, and Tampa is now up by 5. We're just under 7 to go left in the second quarter. Wow, what a goal, Bruce.
And for Charlie Bolish, that is goal number 7 on the season, just like it is goal number 7 of this game for his team. And the face-off, that'll be pulled down initially by Dylan Checketts, while the Mavericks do have possession. And off to the races goes Hayden Scheer. Leaves a pass back for Drew Eichelman. They score! And that's how fast they come in this sport. The Mavericks answer right back. And it's 7-3 as they finally get their first goal of the second quarter.
I'll say, Bruce, it's one of the beauties of lacrosse. You blink, you may miss it, and all it took was that quick attack. And Colorado Mesa, as you mentioned, get their first goal of the quarter. And that's a really important one because Tampa had scored quite a few unanswered. In fact, since the first quarter, they had gone on a run of 6 in a row without a response from the Mavericks. And the Mavericks finally can right here, but Tampa still with a comfortable 4-goal lead as we're back underway. And Colorado Mesa still trying to get it out of their defensive third.
Great play there by Kilkowski for UT. All kinds of pressure being put on Caden Hathaway. And Kilkowski continues to chase as Hathaway is finally slowed down there by the defense of Alex Poma.
I'll say shout out Hathaway for holding on as long as he did. He had to endure quite a few hits from the Spartans, but Tampa's going to get it back.
Turnover there, and off to the races. Looks like was going to go Trajan Cannon, but the Mavericks end up with possession after all, and we're going to get a timeout called here by the Spartans. Comes with exactly 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter, and we'll be back with more lacrosse here on TampaSpartans.tv. Back live here at the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex, where the Tampa Spartans lead it 7-3 and had called a timeout, as this has been a very, very fast-paced game.
I'll say, Bruce, I definitely expected it. We've got two great teams with a long history of playing each other. They faced off 9 times. Tampa has won 5 of 4, including the last 2 matchups.
And with it is Switzer. Now sends it for Jed Brummett. And over to the other side and quickly down behind the Spartans' net. On the move back there is Jensen. And defense applied by Cannon. And it results in a turnover. And Ulmer, the goaltender, brings it up. Fakes a pass and now connects with Matthew Beto. Beto being chased. Gets it up ahead. Birch sends it to Kilkowski. Kilkowski, some footwork back there. Over to the far side of the field. And up top it goes to Bomstad. And now Green to Papa, and they're working the perimeter, are the Spartans, as the clock is down to 4:45 in the second quarter. And looking like he was going to shoot was Bomstad, and pass instead that misses. Chase to the far side of the field. And the official right there on the spot as the Mavericks will take over. Here's Hathaway slowing it down. Kirsch sends it over. He goes off the field. And Lowe. It was 3-2 UT after one, and 5 goals scored in this quarter as well, although the distribution 4-1 in favor of the home team this time around. There's a shot, and Ulmer with a nice save on Jed Brummett. And an outlet off to the races goes Braden Williams, takes a shot, and it goes out of play. UT on the restart, Kilkowski. And I think the Colorado Mesa fans expressing their displeasure a little bit out there.
I think Doucette was a little disappointed too. He definitely felt that he had gotten to the ball before it had gone out and was in front of the Spartan attacker up there. But unfortunately, as you like to say, he can't argue with City Hall. He's not going to get that call overturned. He just has
nice play. Canyon Birch scores. Wow. Wow, what a great effort by Birch.
That is a very, very tiny window for Birch to get it through. But hey, he still took the shot, and he was able to beat it against the odds. A great goal to help extend the Spartans' lead. And they're now back up by 5. And we were talking about 5 goals in total in the quarter. Well, now it's 5 Spartan goals out of 6.
And you had mentioned that Doucette was not going to be happy with the call. Well, he's certainly not happy with the eventual outcome of all that. But at the same time, you really got to credit Canyon Birch. Tremendous play.
But now it'll be important to see how Colorado Mesa responds after a call they might not have liked. And, of course, not the most favorable outcome to be trailing again by 5 with 3:15 to go.
Second goal of the game for Canyon Birch. And this is Charlie Bolish. Sends it over for Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick puts his shoulder down, scores! Daniel Fitzpatrick emphatically. And that's his second goal of the game. Our score is now 9-3.
Great shot, and I have to say, it's just getting from bad to worse for the Mavericks. Just taking a look, really good from distance, still gets his target. And Tampa quickly responding after Colorado Mesa found one in the quarter with 2 more of their own. Feels every time the Mavericks try to get something, Tampa is right there to respond. Although Colorado Mesa will get the draw this time.
And watch out. Birch almost was successful in knocking it loose. The Mavericks, as we're down to 2:43 to go here before halftime. Sergio Paleo has a little bit of room. And now as he turns, he's greeted there by Canyon. And Cannon stays with him, tries the lane way outside and scores. Wow, how about that one from a weird angle and manages to fool Blake Ulmer.
Similar to the Birch goal not too long ago, a really tricky angle, and honestly, I'm not sure how that went in. It's hard to tell. It might have bounced off of Ulmer inside, although it might have also just beat Ulmer when he was trying to make the save. No matter how it went in, it still did, and that's going to be an important goal for the Mavericks. As again, Bruce, even if they do trail by a good margin entering halftime, if you can get 1 or 2 goals late to build and hold on to momentum, you can get a good start to the third quarter.
And flags thrown here. That was Alex Poma for UT and Mike Edwards for Colorado Mesa, who were on that face-off. And I see the official over on the far side of the field making the call to the scorers table, and it is in fact against Colorado Mesa. A face-off procedure penalty on Edwards.
Say that's not what Colorado Mesa wanted. They just scored and now have to deal with another Spartan man advantage.
To the far side it goes, now behind the Mavericks net. And right back again. Pass intended for McEnany, misses. Chased down and still not picked up. Ball is loose, and Luke McEnany, nice move there, as the penalty will expire now. And a long shot coming. That goes out of play off the stick of Owen Miller. So 1:51 left, and the Mavericks back at full strength. Spartans in possession, though, and leading by 5. Fitzpatrick looks over to his sideline and now motions as Jackson Bashaw goes off the field. Play continues down low, a spin move and a shot that goes wide by Birch. That's Bolish over for Miller. Miller looking to go one-on-one. Little spin move. A defender helps out down low. They score! Sneaking in the back door was Canyon Birch. And the Spartans hit double digits. It's 10-4.
They did that in just the previous play, but the difference is the Mavericks weren't ready to defend the backdoor move. And Birch is able to get another goal and another tight angle. But at that range, that's a lot more of a high percentage shot than the previous one.
And that's 3 now for Canyon Birch in this game. The assist by Owen Miller, and comes with 80 seconds remaining before halftime. And Poma on the face-off win takes it all the way down, and a shot that goes wide and out of play. And Poma looks like he might have had a couple of words with Hayden Scher of Colorado Mesa.
The duo went down after the shot. Maybe it was Poma running too fast or Scher getting in the way a little too much, but they'll both agree to disagree as play resumes.
And they can, for all intents and purposes, turn off the shot clock because there's 50 on the game clock and 52 on the shot clock. And let's see if UT is going to actually milk all of this for one final shot. Instructions being shouted from their sideline, and you see no sense of urgency whatsoever. That's Charlie Bolish, who has it right now. He glances up at the scoreboard and just starts a casual jog over in front of his sideline. Puts a little bounce in his step, tries to go one-on-one with the defender. A nice move there to get away, and opts not to shoot yet as the pass goes behind the net. 11 seconds left. Birch takes a shot and scores. Canyon Birch, number 4. And the Spartans, an 11-4 lead. They are on fire, Taylor.
They are, Bruce. And for Birch, if you discount his first goal, this would have been a hat trick in the span of 3 minutes. And of course, now he has his 4th of the game. But in the last 3 minutes, the Spartans have found 4 goals. 3 of them came from Birch, with that same play just capitalizing on the left side and beating the goalie, whether it's near post, through a small window, or any other way. Great stuff from Cameron Birch.
And look at that, another flag being thrown for what likely will be another face-off procedure call.
Tampa's probably going to try to get a quick shot here, but with 8 seconds left, you can't really take the entire advantage of the penalty here, as it looks like it will be awarded against Mesa.
And things, Taylor, really going from bad to worse for the Mavericks. Once again, Mike Edwards, who had got hit with the last one. And UT is not going to shoot. as the horn goes to end the first half of play. So a big 7-goal lead for the home team as the Spartans explode for 8 goals in the second quarter. They lead it 11-4. We'll be back with the second half here on TampaSpartans.tv. And we're back as the third quarter begins. Spartans with 14 seconds remaining. The extra man due to the face-off procedure call before halftime. As you see, it worked down below the Mavericks' net. Pass in front, shot, scores! A great goal there by Luke McEnany. Just 19 seconds into the third quarter as the Spartans lead balloons to 12-4.
All I have to say was, wow, that was an incredible goal. There was very little room to do it. He had to take a shot while nearly lying down, and at such a low angle, that's a difficult play, but he came up with it. And that's kind of just great planning from J.B. Clark, having his team wait out the final 8 seconds because they got the face-off to start the second half automatically, and were able to capitalize immediately to open the scoring.
And for McEnany, that is his second goal of the game. The assist by Canyon Birch, which means that he now has a 5-point game. 4 goals and 1 assist specifically. And this is Kilkowski. Kilkowski being defended by Jake Eichelman. And to the far corner they go. Pass for Owen Miller. Up top it goes, and now to this side, Daniel Fitzpatrick over for Miller. Miller tries to get around his check and takes a long shot that the rebound goes all the way to the far sideline. And the Mavericks have changed goaltenders. Luke Parrish, a freshman, in place of Calvin Doucette, who had started.
I think at this stage of the game, you got to try something new. I don't think Doucette's been bad in the game. It's just he hasn't clearly been able to make all the plays that he's needed to, although a lot of the goals, I think, were probably very high percentage looks for the Spartans. Colorado Mesa wants to change it up and see if they find some more success.
And the stick comes up on Birch. Play carries on anyways. Miller, spin move on the far side, gets past the defender, takes a shot and scores. And Owen Miller, the Spartans picking up where they left off in the second quarter as Miller gets his second goal of the game. And the score now 13-4, an unassisted goal. Miller with a 3-point game now, 2 goals and 1 assist. That one is unassisted.
Spartans have been sharing the love a lot tonight. We've seen multiple goal scorers, but now 4 different multi-goal scorers with Miller joining the list.
And a pile-up following the face-off. Possession to the Spartans. McEnany fires it back. And Papa plays catch there with Bomstad. And now Papa sends it to the far side of the field. Green sends it behind the net. Bomstad on the run. Gets a shot away and scores. 41 beats 41. And fours are wild. 14-4 is our score. And some real highlight reel goals out of this game, Taylor.
I'd say that one especially as Bomstad braving multiple checks on the play from the Mavericks. They were not trying to give him any opportunity to shoot, but still he lets one rip and it's able to get in the back of the net and now give the Spartans a 10-goal lead. They have been on an absolutely massive run with 3 goals already within the first 3 minutes.
And look at that as UT comes up with it again. Alex Poma, pass for McEnany, bounce shot, scores! Just that quickly. And McEnany with his third of the game.
McEnany completes the hat trick in just 11 seconds from the previous goal. And we were talking about bad to worse. Well, to credit Colorado Mesa, at this stage, a game like this can't get much worse because it's just so dominant for the Spartans. And I don't even think it's going to be that much that the Mavericks haven't been playing so well. It's that the Spartans just are now an unstoppable machine. And that's really the growth that we've seen from J.B. Clark. When this team is performing, almost no one in the nation can take them down.
Bad to worse, salt on the wounds, pull out all the cliches because Spartans really pouring it on here. 4 goals already in the first not even 3 minutes of this third quarter. I don't want to say that it was only 11-4 at halftime, but 4 goals that fast to start the second half. And a flag had been thrown on the far side, as you see the goal there by Hunter Holcomb. And clearly there was going to be a penalty against the Spartans. And so finally, the Mavericks find the back of the net after, as I said, the Spartans had scored 4 goals in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at it now, 5 goals in total to start the second half in just the first 4 minutes now. But, yeah, on that play there was going to be a penalty. There was a lot of aggressive hits against the Mavericks on the attack. In fact, Tampa still will have to deal with a 1-minute player disadvantage after the face-off here. But Tampa's a very comfortable lead. The Colorado Mesa desperately needed that to try to get anything going their way.
So a 1-minute penalty to the Spartans' Thomas Gribben. And yet it's the Spartans with the ball here. That was a slashing penalty called against Gribben. And on the run goes Papa. Sends a pass over. This is Harry Kilkowski in the near corner. Airmails it up top for Bolesh. Looks back at the scoreboard to see the remaining time on the penalty against Gribben. And the penalty still with 20 seconds to go. And plenty of differential between it and the shot clock. So UT can wait until Gribben gets back on and then work for a quality scoring chance.
I'll say Colorado Mesa got pretty unlucky to have a violation on the face-off because now they won't get a chance to try to capitalize with the man advantage. Tampa has been able to sit back and let it be killed, and with 15 seconds to go, they now can get to work attacking.
Penalty is expired, and Kilkowski works his way towards the net and loses the ball. And what a shame, Taylor, after all that. And the Spartans are not going to be able to get a shot away.
That'll be disappointing for the Spartans. But at the end of the day, now they've got a chance. And now they score. Heads-up defense from McNady, and that's his 4th of the game.
Wow. When you said before, how could things get worse for Colorado Mesa, how about you prevent the Spartans from getting a shot off? You think you're about to get possession, and somehow it ends up in the back of your own net.
There was a similar error by the Spartans in the first quarter on the defensive end, where they had an errant pass that was taken immediately and scored by Colorado Mesa, and a bit of a repeat there, and McNady getting the turnover, and there is literally nothing that the replacement goalie for Colorado Mesa can do in stopping it. And we're once again, Spartans leading by 11.
And again, as Taylor is alluding to, in case you missed it, the Mavericks did change goaltenders at halftime. It's Luke Parrish who's in goal after Calvin Doucette had played the first half. And meanwhile, the Mavericks working offensively. This is a game that was only 3-2 at the end of the first quarter. If I'm not mistaken, the Mavericks even had, was it a 2-1 lead?
Yeah, they were able to take a 2-1 lead in the first quarter. Then Tampa scored 6 unanswered, and after a couple back and forths, Tampa once again has been able to really generate momentum to get a massive lead, and honestly, a game that we definitely thought would be closer entering it.
And a nice play there by Matthew Beto to cause the turnover. And that's 8 now in the game for UT. The Mavericks have only caused half that number. So since the end of the first quarter, UT has outscored Colorado Mesa 13-3.
Oof.
And just absolutely opened it up. And still lots of time left. Just inside 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And working with it right now is Bomstad. And that's going to be covered up in the goal crease by Parrish. And now Jake Eichelman will start it up for the visitors.
I'll say I don't envy Parrish having to enter the game as a freshman against one of the most dominant teams in Division II. Really, it's a trial by fire, and hopefully he can get some good saves and on these opportunities that he'll have.
And Mavericks right in front score. And that'll be Sergio Paleo with the goal. And give credit where credit is due. Nice passing there.
Yeah, and I have to say, great effort overall from the Mavericks. Even though they are trailing by a large margin, they're still fighting, and they made a great play there to get right in front of Ulmer and put it in the back of the net. It's going to take a lot more for them to try to make this a new ball game, but that's the type of goal that you do need just to keep focused and keep the situation from being completely dire. And also shout out James Steinke, who had made the pass. That was the assist.
Loose at midfield and picked up by Matthew Beto for UT. And coming up behind him was AJ Switzer for the Mavericks. And look at that. Out in midfield, Drew Eichelman and Matthew Beto standing chest to chest.
There was a bit of collision before, and actually there looks like will be a penalty. It'll be a slashing penalty for the number 10 for Colorado Mesa, so Switzer did actually have a penalty there, and Tampa gets a 1 minute opportunity.
This comes with 7:49 left here in the third quarter. And it's worked into the corner. Kilkowski sends it over the other way. McEnany. He has 4 goals in this game, as does Canyon Birch. And up top with it is Miller for Fitzpatrick. Quick ball movement here by the Spartans. Fitzpatrick looked like he wanted to shoot. Now sends it to the other side. Miller back to Kilkowski. Miller calling for it up top. And instead there's a bounce shot by McEnany that goes out of play.
Great passing, though, from the Spartans, continually finding an open player. And no matter what Mesa tries, they're just sitting back waiting for them to eventually get a shot off.
And there it is by Fitzpatrick and stopped by Parrish. The Mavericks try to go back the other way. That's Drew Eichelman fighting his way across midfield, now over the Tampa line. Drops a pass off. Steinke. His pass and a shot off goal by Jed Brummett, as the penalty, by the way, has expired against the Mavericks.
That was a good chance there by the Mavericks, as the penalty did expire. Steinke made another good pass to the cut inside. The shot was just off target. It could have been Steinke's second assist of the game and quarter.
6.5 to go in the third. And putting his shoulder down, Switzer, and strong defense there by Pascarella. And you see Brady Stoll go down, and 2 flags come out. Play stops, as we're obviously going to get a call here, and seems like tempers are starting to boil.
Yeah, that time, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was number 3 for Tampa on the play, Brady Stoll, who had fallen on top of one of the Maverick attackers. And that's, of course, going to bring out the penalty. But I know it'll just be disappointing overall. And, yeah, I mean, Colorado Mesa, I think, every right to be a little upset about that play.
So this comes with 6:16 remaining. And if you went away for too long at halftime and you come back and you see 16-7 on your screen, it really is 16-7. There have already been 8 goals in just a little over the first half of this quarter as Brady Stoll gets the 1-minute penalty for the Spartans.
I believe there was also a goal on the play.
And there's a long shot. They score again. How about that? AJ Switzer.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty quick off the face-off. They found the long-range shot and score it. And Switzer continues his pretty good day for Colorado Mesa, getting his second point.
And so the face-off now, as our score goes to 16-8, Dylan Checketts gets the assist on the Switzer goal. And the face-off controlled by Hunter Turner. His pass bounces out of the stick of McEnany. And a little behind-the-back pass there by Vinny Kirchie. And this is Hathaway now. Across midfield. Changes hands. Bounce pass up ahead for Holcomb. Holcomb sidesteps the defense. And the Mavericks fans that are here trying to encourage the players down in the field who are trying to find their way back into this game. And I always like to say they have to score as many goals just to tie this game as they have in the entire game thus far. So a tall order still, despite a little bit of momentum here.
I think that's why Tampa just getting on such a strong and dominant run is so important, because it gives them control. They can go down a couple goals unanswered and let Colorado Mesa really get momentum, and they'll still be very comfortably in the lead.
And there's a long shot. They score. Wow. From way out.
And great one there by Stanky, as it just took a weird bounce that fooled Ulmer. Let's take a look at this in a second. Stanky just trying it from deep, gets a good enough bounce, and Ulmer, you could tell he was a little disappointed himself. A very rare error from the Spartan goalie, because he didn't think it was going to bounce up to the top corner, but it did. That's going to be another goal for Colorado Mesa, and it'll also be the 10th goal of the period, 5 goals each.
So Braden Lowe gets the assist, and now the Spartans heading back the other way. Pasquarella on the run. And it's worked down behind the Mavericks net. And to the far corner goes Harry Kilkowski. Here's Miller on the run. Stops. Pass instead for Fitzpatrick. Back to Miller again. Fitzpatrick looked like he wanted to shoot. Nice pass, and in close they score. That's Jackson Bashaw as the Spartans put an end to the little run that Colorado Mesa was on. And our score goes to 17-9. Daniel Fitzpatrick will get the assist on that one. And Fitzpatrick now with a 4-point game.
Yeah, great pass there from Fitzpatrick. And again, you give Tampa a close enough shot like that, it's going to get scored. And that's going to be Bashaw's second of the game. And Tampa up to 17 on the night.
And away goes Williams. And move it to the far side of the field. Up top with it is Day. As Birch sends it into the corner. Kilkowski on the run. Pass over to the other side. And Owen Miller, who had just stepped on, has it. And this is Charlie Bolish, who just came out on the field. Bolish looks back the other way, returns it to Miller. Fitzpatrick, and a nice job there, closing things up defensively, as it looked like Fitzpatrick was going to have a great shooting lane. Now he does, and it looked like Parrish may have gotten a piece of that one. And here's Charlie Bolish with it now. 24 on the shot clock. Goes to the far side. Long shot taken. And out of play. Off the stick of Owen Miller. That last shot. As UT the restart. And the game clock is at exactly 3 minutes. 11 on the shot clock. Bolish takes his shot, hit the goalpost. Kilkowski with the rebound. They reset the shot clock, but it's turned over. And now Parrish dumps it off. And off to the races, Levi McCoy. Switzer. Pass. And racing down was Steinke. And he's closely watched by Gunnar Geblin, so they reset back up top. On the run, that's Sal Iaria. Iaria has room and sends the pass down in the corner. And nice play defensively there. Wow. By Trajan Cannon. Mavericks able to maintain possession, though. And here goes Holcomb. Shot coming. Ulmer went down and didn't even need to get a piece of that one as it was off net and went out of play. 15 on the shot clock for the Mavericks. And looks like Cannon might have deflected that one as it didn't get through. It's turned over. And Braden Krumey advances it. Although now chopping at it is Matthew Beto, and he finally picks it up.
Beto had missed the original pass, but stayed with it and made sure there wasn't a costly turnover.
Behind the Mavericks net it goes. And that's Canyon Birch back there unguarded. Now they put a defender on him. And UT making one or two personnel changes here. Papa sends a pass over for Bomstad. Down behind the net it goes. Back to Bomstad again and up top for Papa one more time. To this side of the field, Grant Green. Birch will send it down behind the net. And UT working the perimeter here as the shot clock is at 15 seconds. And Green on the run, being chased, takes a bounce shot, and Parrish got a piece of that one. The official on the far side of the field says possession for the Spartans, but they need to shoot immediately. Oh, hit the crossbar as the shot clock resets, but the Mavericks get the rebound. And under some pressure there is Vinny Kirchie, as now the Mavericks get it across the Tampa line. And a shot coming there off the stick of Braden Lowe goes out of play. And only 1 second left in the quarter. And that'll be a formality as the horn goes to end the third quarter of play with the Spartans in a big 17-9 lead and still 15 minutes remaining. We will be back with more lacrosse right here on TampaSpartans.tv. Back alive as the fourth quarter gets underway. And the line score to this point, 3-8-6 for the Spartans and 2-2-5 for Colorado Mesa. Shots on goal are 22 apiece and 13 saves for UT goalie Blake Ulmer, who is still in goal. For the Mavericks, Calvin Doucette had played the first game in goal, the first half in goal. Luke Parrish took over to start the third quarter. He is still in there for the visitors as UT with the opening possession of the fourth quarter. Owen Miller with a pass, and Fitzpatrick is hit, gets a pass off. McEnany didn't get to it, and Miller will. He sends it over to the far side. Fitzpatrick, a long shot coming, goes out of play. And looking for the official to give the go-ahead. I believe that's Canyon Birch back behind the Mavericks net. 61 seconds have ticked off the clock here to start this fourth quarter. The face-offs are 17-11 in favor of the Spartans. And there's a shot. He scores!
Wow.
Canyon Birch with his 5th goal of the game.
A career night for Canyon Birch, and over on the UT sideline, a few of the players are doing some chorus line kicks of their own. I know I'd mentioned that one of the last times the women's lacrosse team had been playing. That's a fun celebration, but you can tell the Tampa players just loving this result so far. And for Cameron Birch, it's an incredible night for him. As you just mentioned, his 5th goal.
And the face-off. Meanwhile, Canyon Birch now at 16 goals on the season. He came in with 11 through 6 games. And as Taylor just mentioned, 5 to go with 1 assist in the first just over 3 quarters. A flag has been thrown on the far side of the field as Poma sends a pass. Bashaw sent it behind the net. The Spartans work it out front. And it looked like McEnany was going to shoot. Now he backs off as some personnel changes are made. And it's way up top with Bomstad. Bomstad gets past the defender and slows things down. And Bomstad being watched as he jogs towards the corner.
I think with their 9-goal lead, the Spartans, they might be wanting to just take a little extra time on their possessions. They don't need to immediately rush for goals. But they're also the type of team that will always capitalize on a situation if they get it.
Now a pass made, and Birch comes out in front and manages to hang on despite heavy pressure from the defense. Now it's loose and kicked at, and it rolls all the way to the Tampa line. And the officials blow the play dead. There was that flag that had been thrown quite some time ago back down the other end of the field. And so the clock stops with 12:23 remaining, and we will finally get the call that's going to be made against Colorado Mesa.
And that one's going to be called on Sean Ferguson. He's going to take a minute in for slashing. And good to see the freshman out there getting some experience. And I have a feeling that as the game progresses, we may see more freshmen from both teams get some action. Teams get utilizing this chance to make some changes. While it's certainly not over yet, we have to wait until the final whistle for that. As time ticks down, the result certainly becoming more likely that the Spartans would be able to hold on.
As it goes up top, and Miller sends a pass over. Another flag has been thrown. So this will also be against the Mavericks. As play continues, there's a long shot by Miller. Goes out of play, and they will stop the clock with exactly 12 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. And Taylor, the Mavericks, really shooting themselves in the foot, already down a man, and now another call against them.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing they realistically need is to have to deal with yet another penalty and another player off the field, but that's what they're going to have to do. 6 Spartan attackers, 4 defenders, including the goalie from Colorado Mesa, and it's going to be a tough effort to really prevent the Spartans from scoring on this possession.
That last call against the Mavericks was against Trey Corkin III. A 1-minute penalty. And the Spartans shoot and score again. Canyon Birch, would you believe it, his 6th of the night.
That's a double hat trick for him, and at that stage you had about 30 seconds left in the shot clock, and you might as well take a first shot there and, try to maybe get a chance to remove one of the penalties. But, yeah, for Birch, just continuing his great night. And that is goal number 19 for the Spartans.
And now on the face-off, ball is loose. And a whistle there. Procedure call by the official on the spot. And Drew Eichelman starts it back the other way for the Mavericks. Looking for some room, turning the corner is Iaria. And down went Braden Lowe. Play carries on. Drew Eichelman in behind the Spartans net. His pass now. Lowe with it. Takes a shot. It goes wide and out of play.
The shot clock reset, so I believe it's actually going to be another save for Blake Ulmer, as I think he probably just tipped it out of play on that one.
The Mavericks are on a 3-game Florida visit. They actually won 20-14 last Saturday, 2 days ago, and will go from here over to the other coast and south and take on Palm Beach Atlantic University on Wednesday morning down in West Palm Beach. In fact, the Mavericks came into this game on a 5-game winning streak.
They had been undefeated to start their Florida tour. Of course, they had the earlier loss in the season, but had been on the 5-game winning streak. And sadly for them, it looks like it'll end. I also want to mention, as we were discussing their schedule, as there's another big save by Blake Ulmer, their shot ricocheted off the goalpost and eventually was hit away as Colorado Mesa had regained possession previously. So a very hectic moment in front of goal we almost both missed.
And the Spartans working offensively at the other end of the field, leading by 19-9, and making some personnel changes. UT started off this month with the first ever loss under head coach J.B. Clark. That was a 14-12 decision at the hands of Frostburg State up in Maryland, and have won the 2 games since by a combined score of 39-7. And here they are up big with exactly 9 minutes left.
I think that loss was important for this side because, you have to remember what losing feels like. It's not a great feeling, and I'm sure it'll motivate these players to try to go and stay undefeated the rest of the season and potentially try to bring Tampa's 2nd ever men's lacrosse title home at the end of the season. Got a lot of great players that I think certainly could do that.
There's a shot. Goes out of play. UT is going to stay home and play another team from way out west this Thursday. Another 7:30 start when Westminster provides the opposition. And now jogged up across the line by Ulmer and sends it to Fitzpatrick. And a shot coming off the stick of Owen Miller goes high and out of play. Bolish tries to beat the other 23. And hanging with him is Caleb Schreiber as the ball's loose and picked up by the Mavericks. Sent over to the far side of the field. And I must say that for what by Tampa standards is considered to be quite a cool evening, there's been a really nice crowd here tonight watching this game. It's down to 54 degrees right now, very un-Tampa-like, and yet they've come out in large numbers for both the Mavericks and the Spartans.
I think it'll be easier for the Maverick fans to come out here, well, not just because they're a little bit more used to the colder temperatures, but also because they are on this prolonged Florida trip. But I think for Tampa as well, it's just there's been a great fan base that always supports our lacrosse teams that is able to show up here at the Namoli Family Intramural Complex, and it's great to see all that support. As here goes Blake Ulmer. I think he thinks he's going to be Manuel Neuer joining the attack.
And the pass misses, intended for Kilkowski, and it goes out of play. And now Ulmer quickly retreats to his net.
I'll say for anyone that didn't get the Blake Ulmer reference, Manuel Neuer is one of the greatest German goalies of all time. He's won a World Cup, and he's well known for being aggressive, bringing the ball out of his net and helping generate attacks. And that's exactly what Blake Ulmer does for the Spartans.
And now for UT, Nick Papa with it on the far sideline. I thought you said Manuel Noriega. I really couldn't understand that comparison at all. As it's down behind the Mavericks net. And Kilkowski, now he leaves a pass for Papa. And Papa sends it up top, off to the races, goes green. And credit the Mavericks defense, still playing very aggressive here in the late stages as we're inside 6 minutes. And Miller hits the goalpost, Birch. And that was unlucky, as it could have been lucky number 7 and the goaltender's best friend.
Yeah, sometimes luck will work in mysterious ways, and that was point blank wide open. I think 99 times out of 100 that's going to go in, but this time just hits the post, and that's a little bit of a shame.
And now a pass to the far side of the field, and it's taken down in behind the Spartans' net. Braden Lowe up top with it now. Paleo puts on the brakes, turns the corner. And look at the strong defense. I got to give credit to the Spartans as well. That was Jackson Day almost bumping heads with Paleo. And the restart by the Mavericks.
Got to give them credit. They're not going to yield even in a pretty big winning margin like this. A game that's pretty much, I think, determined almost in course of outcome as time continues to tick away. The probability of win percentage would be well above 99 at this stage for the Spartans. But Tampa, they're not going to let off the gas pedal. They're going to keep playing hard defense and make it as tough as they can for the Mavericks to try to get any other consolation goals.
And turned over as heading back the other way for the Spartans is Krumie. Sends a pass now to Bashaw. Into the corner, now to Kilkowski on the near side. And up top is Owen Miller. We are down now to exactly 4 minutes left in the game. On the far side of the field, this is Charlie Bolish for Owen Miller. Miller across the line. Miller finds the extra gear. Nice job on the fake shot by Bolish. Good pass coming in close. And Fitzpatrick can't get the shot away. Holds on, though. And now sends it behind the net. Miller looking to get inside. A pass that's deflected. A nice job there by the goaltender Parrish to break that one up.
Yeah, he reached up and was able to come away with it. Heads-up interception that prevented the Spartans from doing more on that attack. Now the Mavericks can try to respond. Good movement again by Hathaway, braving the challenges up the field.
And his pass just connects with Switzer. And it's into the stick of Alex Blatt. And this is Drew Eichelman. Long shot scores. Drew Eichelman gets Colorado Mesa into double digits. As the score now 19-10 with 2:46 left. You see the replay here as Eichelman way outside and beats a falling Blake Ulmer low into the far side.
Sometimes you got to try those long-range shots. You never know what's going to take a good bounce and go in. And that time, that's exactly what happened. Spartans still very comfortably up as we start to continue to get closer to zero. As I think previously mentioned, 2:45 now to go.
That's the second goal of the game for Drew Eichelman. And it took that far into the fourth quarter before the Mavericks finally got their first goal since quarter number 3. And I know there's about a 2-second difference between what you're seeing on the live stream versus what I see here on the scoreboard in the stadium, meaning that you're about 2 seconds behind on what you're watching. 2:10 remaining now as it's sent over to the far side, and another flag being thrown, and the officials can't stop working either.
Yeah, I mean, just because the game is relatively comfortably in the lead of one team rather than the other, that doesn't mean you throw the rules out the way. Wow, okay, I also can't throw my talking out of the window at this stage of the game either.
Oh, a nice try there. Wow. By Alex Blatt. Yeah, you can't put the whistle away because the rules still need to be enforced. The players are still giving it their all. And now with the stoppage, we will get the call made on the far side of the field with 1:39 left here in the game. And I believe this one's going against the Spartans.
Looks like it'll be a slash called on the Spartans for Pascarella. And yeah, I can see the flag go up earlier on that play. It certainly was against the Spartans. And there might be a chance for another quick goal from Colorado Mesa.
A 1-minute penalty against Pascarella. And no shot taken. Goes back up top instead. Fired down low. There's a shot that goes wide and out of play. And it'll be put back in from the near corner.
Looking at the time, Bruce, this will probably be the last attack of the game as the shot clock will be well above the game clock.
There's a bounce shot by Switzer that goes out of play. And up top, that's Iaria. And over to Switzer. Back to Iaria again. In front, they score.
I believe that was once again from Steinke. He's had a good second half, finding a lot of assists and a few goals in the game. This time he gets in close range against Ulmer. That's going to be his second goal of the game, and he's also been a multiple point scorer. In total, he's had 3.
So with 51 seconds left, the Mavericks make it 19-11. And loose ball picked up by Colorado Mesa And across the Tampa line, good passing, and has got to be called, and it will be a push on the Spartans. And so Jed Brummett puts it into place. Switzer, pass up top. And another flag thrown as the game clock is at 18 seconds. And a stoppage in play here, as we're going to have what I would like to think would be one final penalty called.
At this stage, that's what you hope, but this Tampa team never stops until the final whistle, so there could be another unfortunate slash or roughness call. But certainly would be difficult to do in the final 18 seconds. That one going on Jackson Day.
A long shot. And Ulmer makes another save. As you see it out near midfield and loose. 2 seconds, 1 second. And there goes the horn to end the game. And the Spartans with a big offensive outburst tonight, and they win it by a score of 19-11, and it was actually our lowest scoring quarter of the game, the fourth, only 2 goals by each team, but the damage had long been done by then.
Yeah, a lot of explosions on offense from both sides, although primarily the Spartans with some big runs has given the Spartans the victory, and yeah, not a big surprise to see the teams slowing it down in the fourth quarter, letting the clock go longer on the attacks and not going too aggressive. After all, they've both got games later this week. You mentioned Colorado Mesa is going to be playing on Wednesday. Tampa will be playing on Thursday.
Blake Ulmer finishes with 18 saves. The final shots on goal were 29-25 in favor of Colorado Mesa. And how about the night by Canyon Birch? 6 goals and 1 assist to finish with 7 points. And let's not overlook Luke McEnany chipping in with 4 goals himself, as the Spartans with a big victory here at home tonight, and they improve their 1-loss record in 2023 to 7-1, and the Mavericks, they will fall now to 7-2. And as Taylor just mentioned, if you have been watching from a Colorado Mesa perspective, thank you very much, and your team's next game will be Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time down in West Palm Beach, Florida, as the Mavericks take on Palm Beach Atlantic University. And for the home fans, Tampa Spartans viewers, we will be back here with another game from the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on Thursday night. That's March 23rd, a 7:30 p.m. start against Westminster. For Taylor Stolworthy, I'm Bruce Wozniak. My thanks, as always, to Andre Pyatt. The Spartans win it tonight big by a final score of 19-11. Thanks for watching on Tampa.